Well, if you want to see some really interesting, unique airplanes, you should buzz out to the North Las Vegas airport this weekend. That's because dozens of pilots from all over the United States will touch down there, and they'll be flying biplanes. Our Randy Swallow was out at the airport this morning. Randy, what are you seeing out there?
Good morning to you, Kendall. It's a beautiful morning for flying, and especially in a biplane. A biplane is called a biplane because it has two wings, which is originally, that's the Wright brothers. They flew a biplane on the first flight. Now, what is interesting about this plane is called a Waco, which is spelled like Waco, W-A-C-O, which was the Cessna of its day, a very popular plane. And joining me now is Joe Marden, the owner of this plane. Joe, what are you folks doing this weekend with your Waco planes?
This weekend we've got the 6th annual convention of the Western Waco Association, and we'll have approximately 20 airplanes in here from the western part of the United States, and one fellow is joining us from Florida. He'll have his airplane over here in a few minutes.
Okay, and people then, they can get a chance to see what flying was like back in the 20s, 30s, and 40s in these beautiful planes.
Yes, that's right.
Okay. Tell us a little bit about your plane. How long did it take you to get this up to stage? What year is this plane originally made?
This airplane was originally built in 1942, and from the records it last flew in the late 40s. I spent 2.5 years restoring it. It took a major effort and a major part of my life to do that for 2.5 years. We acquired over 600 drawings from the Smithsonian to use in the restoration, because it was built from the drawings, not from old parts.
Okay, and again, some of those parts, you say that these planes are made out of steel tubing, wood, and fabric on the wings.
Right, the construction is steel tubing, wood wings, and fabric covered. It's powered by a 220 horsepower, 7-cylinder radial engine, 670 cubic inches, which is about 11 liters.
Wow.
If you're familiar with the automobile displacements.
Okay. Well, we're out of time, but we will be back in the next half hour. We're going to start this thing up and hopefully see how it flies, Kendall.
All right, look forward to that. Randy, I just have one quick question. How much would that cost if you were to sell that now?
I was just asking Joe that, and he like he just said, he worked on this thing for a couple of years, so he's not quite sure if there's enough money out there in the world that could buy this plane. But he says a good one, and because they're so rare, you start at 6 figures and go up from there, Kendall.
Okay, I was thinking about it. All right, Randy.
Welcome back, everybody. In our last half hour, we introduced you to some of the most interesting historic airplanes around. They're called Wacos, and the biplanes are out at the North Las Vegas airport and will be there through this weekend. That is where our Randy Swallow is this morning. You were in the cockpit. Boy, you got out very quickly there, Randy. I thought you were going to go out for a fly there.
I wanted to go for a flight, but Frank here wouldn't let me. But that's right, Sue. We're out here at the North Las Vegas airport all weekend long. These wonderful Waco planes will be out here. Biplanes from the 20s and 30s, and this one, which actually was built in 1991. I'm joined by former retired Marine fighter pilot, Lieutenant Colonel Frank West. You came from Florida all the way for this, did you?
I came all the way from West Palm Beach, Florida for this.
And you call these real planes then, is that right? What do you call the other type planes?
Well, the others are really spam cans.
you likened this to flying just like being in a convertible then, is that right, for pure flying?
That's exactly right. It's just like flying in a convertible or a motorcycle.
Okay, and as we look at Joe's plane there, that plane was built in about 42. Yours was built in 1991. Talk about that a little bit.
Well, this airplane was built in 1991, but to the very same specifications, with the very same materials that they used in 1935 when they built the originals of this particular airplane. The type certificate, FAA type certificate for this airplane is dated 1935.
Okay. And as we hear Joe's plane a little bit, you came all the way from the other side of the country. Is it a nice flying plane and everything like that?
It's just beautiful. It's just beautiful. You get to see things that you'd otherwise never see. You're outside and you're with the country, you're with the mountains, and you fly between them.
Wind flying through your hair too, I guess.
Exactly right.
Okay.
Exactly right. And it's just the most wonderful. I've had more fun flying this airplane than anything I ever flew before. And I flew Corsairs and F-6s, and at the end of my career, I flew Phantoms for about 1,000 hours.
All right. Okay. Well, thank you, retired Lieutenant Colonel Frank West. He'll be here all weekend long. I just want to quickly say that I know Joe, and there's a couple other people that will be offering flying. You can fly in their Waco biplanes with them. So come on out to the North Las Vegas Airport this weekend.
Oh, that's exciting, Randy. Did you say that Frank flew his plane from Florida to here, or did he tow it in?
He flew it from West Palm Beach, Florida, and he went by way of Connecticut. Then he went across to Michigan, to Seattle, to Reno, to San Diego, to here. So he's really covered every coast that we have here in the United States.
Yes, he has. Thanks a lot, Randy. Wow, Randy's having a lot of fun at the North Las Vegas Airport right now. That's where the Waco planes are. That's really exciting.
That's
get
a
up there
lot
and get
of
a
flying
ride.
from Florida to Las Vegas.
A lot of flying in one of those planes.
In the open
Your
air
open cockpit,
yeah.
yes.
Gotta get a little tired doing that. Hopefully Randy
fun,
will get a chance to get up there. Time to check out the weather and the weather conditions.
Well, if you are looking for something to do this weekend, you can head on over to the North Las Vegas Airport. The Western Waco Association is holding its 6th annual convention there with antique biplanes from the 1920s and 30s. Everyone's invited to see the planes on display and in the air. And rides will be available. And again, that's happening today through Sunday at the North Las Vegas Airport. And what a great day to get outside and
looks like it's going to be a nice weekend to do a lot of things.
Yeah, no
really.
kidding.
How about it, Tesla?
Yeah, it should be the first week.